In the current environment, where headlines are dominated by inflation fears, protectionist trade policies, and global uncertainty, you'd expect semiconductor stocks to be vulnerable. And many of them are. But NVIDIA continues to show relative strength, outperforming even during periods of sharp drawdowns. And here's why: NVIDIA isn't just a chipmaker. It's the beating heart of artificial intelligence infrastructure worldwide. Whether you're training large language models, building autonomous vehicles, or powering cloud-based neural networks, NVIDIA's GPUs are still the gold standard. With the rollout of the Blackwell architecture, demand has only intensified, especially from hyperscalers like Microsoft, Google, and Amazon. In its latest quarterly report, NVIDIA posted over $11 billion in data center revenue alone, showing the sheer scale of its dominance. But this isn't just about tech adoption, this is about market influence. NVIDIA is now one of the most heavily weighted stocks in the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. When NVIDIA moves, indexes move. Period. On red days, it can drag the broader market down. On green days, like we saw Monday, it often leads the charge higher. And that gives it a rare position in financial markets. It's not just a growth stock, it's a systemically relevant stock. Let's put that into perspective. Back in 2016, NVIDIA was still flying under the radar. But fast forward to 2025, and it's worth over $1 trillion in market capitalization, rivaling the likes of Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. And unlike many high-flying tech names, NVIDIA's valuation is supported by both rapid revenue growth and profit margins north of 60%. Even with macroeconomic headwinds, the company's free cash flow is growing, and it continues to expand R&D investment to stay ahead of the curve. Analysts are calling it the picks and shovels play of the AI boom, and for good reason. If AI is the next gold rush, NVIDIA is selling the tools. Now let's talk about the bigger picture, the macro view. Markets around the world are on edge. Trump's new Liberation Day tariffs are creating friction in global supply chains. Growth is uneven, and inflation is still sticky. In this kind of landscape, you expect high-momentum tech names to get crushed. And yet, NVIDIA has consistently shown relative outperformance, especially compared to peers in the semiconductor space. Intel and AMD? Still strong, but not even close in terms of margins or demand visibility. Micron? Volatile. Broadcom and Qualcomm? Good, but far less central to the AI ecosystem. NVIDIA, on the other hand, is uniquely positioned. It's the most trusted supplier for generative AI, machine learning, and high-performance computing. And that trust is now baked into not just company contracts, but into entire index funds, ETFs, and retirement portfolios. But of course, there are risks. NVIDIA's stock isn't cheap. Even after the pullback, it's trading at a high multiple, and that makes it vulnerable to macro shocks or disappointing earnings. And while AI adoption is accelerating, some worry that the market may be pricing in too much too fast. That said, this is one of those rare cases where hype is supported by fundamentals. The company isn't selling promises, it's delivering products, revenue, and profits quarter after quarter. So what's next? Well, in the short term, expect volatility. Tariff news, inflation readings, and central bank policy will create turbulence. But over the longer term, NVIDIA remains a cornerstone of the digital economy, and one of the best-positioned companies in the world to benefit from the rise of artificial intelligence. In fact, some analysts argue that the AI race has barely started, and NVIDIA is already leading it. As governments, corporations, and institutions continue to invest in automation and machine learning, demand for NVIDIA's hardware is expected to grow, not shrink. To wrap this up, NVIDIA is not just a tech stock, it's a market mover, a strategic asset, and arguably the single most important company behind the AI transformation. Whether you're an index investor, a growth chaser, or just watching markets unfold, NVDA is one ticker you can't afford to ignore. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this breakdown helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more market-focused updates.